My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. And today we're going to be making these super cute treat bags or party favors, just depending on what you want to call the container, with our paper pumpkin kit for May, which was called Batter Up. So this is alternate number 2. I have 3 different options here. Now, I don't have my blog ready to go with this project yet, but it should be up tomorrow. And as per the usual, I will post it on my Facebook page once the blog is ready to go. But just wanted to mention that. So welcome, welcome. This is what we're going to be making today. So I will walk you through it, and then we'll make one of the 3, and then I'll just tell you the little details that I changed here and there. But for the most part, all of the work is the same. And I just wanted to give you guys different ideas as to what you could do with it. So this container, this box, is actually from something called the All Dressed Up dies. This is without the straps. I did another version of this with a different sports themed stamp set that we had a few years ago. And I thought that it would be perfect with this one. So I love how they turned out. So half of it is our card base and half of it is coordinating cardstock. And I'll show you what I did, but just depending on how you want them to look, you could do card bases for both pieces. And depending on how many kits or refills you get. Just wanted to put a couple of different things in here to give you an idea of the size of what would fit in here. If you are considering it for party favors. Of course, we're not going to give Dad crayons, but I was running around looking for things that would fit inside this box just for the reference point. And then this one is our little, I was trying to do like a baseball jersey type of look here with one of the card bases. And let me just fix something real quick. Okay. Here's the other side. So just depending on if you want to keep it all one theme or you just want to decorate one side. I kind of did both on this one so that you could get an idea. I did both sides on this one too, so we'll walk through that. But this one has some candy and then, of course, the gum that they provided inside the paper pumpkin kits. So I thought that would be cute because is it me or does this like perfectly match Pacific Point? I thought it did. So we have that one, and then we have this one. So this one here, I put some popcorn in it, but you can see the little decoration here. This is actually this, but with the yellow edge trimmed off. And then the other side, that little sneak preview that I posted today where we made a background, that's this piece right here. So stamped it, and I colored it in with the Stampin' Blends just a little bit in certain areas. So this is the one we're going to be recreating today. And you could just do one side or both. But what this one ended up being was this half is the one side of the card base. And this half is the other. But there's a little trick to it with the bottom of the bag. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I ended up having to use 2 cards. I was trying to do it with one, but I wasn't quite able to do it. So anyway, this is the one that we're going to recreate today. So these are the card bases that we're going to be working with. So there's the one that has sort of that wood grain look. This is the one somehow I just ended up using the most. So I only have one of these left and I had 2 kits. I'm not sure. I'm really gravitating towards this one for some reason. And then this one, which is so striking. Which was this one here. So really like cool look to it. But yeah, we're going to cut one of these in half and we're just going to start working with it. So this half was what I used to do our stamping on this, and I'm going to keep it the same here. So I'm going to put it up here just so that we have a little point of reference as we do our stamping. Let me just trim it in half really quick. So we're just going to cut our card base right in half here, right on that line, right on your score line. We'll use this on another treat bag project or another card. Okay. Here was another background. Here was another background that I was working with, just experimenting. I was trying to see where to place Dad. I ended up liking it up here more than I liked it here. But when you're playing around with your kit, so I ended up stamping and then trying to color in with the Stampin' Blends, but my color didn't quite match right. So kind of made the hat look like it was glowing. So it's still usable, but this wasn't my favorite background piece that I made. I loved this one. So I thought I would recreate this one, but I wanted to show that one too. Okay, so we're going to be using the stamps from the kit. And here are the colors we're going to be using today. So Night of Navy, which is the one that comes in your kit. You can use your little guy. I'm going to be using my full-size ink pad. Real Red, Soft Suede, Pacific Point, and Bumblebee. Now, I don't actually have Pacific Point on this one, but I did use it here. So just wanted to note that for the projects. This Smoky Slate is actually one of the coordinating colors too, but I didn't use it when I was stamping for these particular projects. Okay, so I'm going to start with the hat, but we'll just open these up and we'll go along. So we're going to use the hat stamp, the All-Star stamp. So our hat, our All-Star stamp. We're going to use Grandpa for this one, but you could switch that out to whichever one would work. And our baseball bat. So we have a baseball bat stamp. Those all come from the kit. Here's what the whole stamp set looks like. If you haven't gone through your kit yet, or if you are wondering, it's such this is such a good stamp set that came in this particular kit. Okay. And then I did it long ways when I was stamping. So we can just do the same thing. And I'm going to start with my hat, and then we'll just start basically building out a background pattern. So now I'm just going to color this in. Like I said, no crazy blending or anything, just going to get some Night of Navy on these fill spots. You could leave this go. You don't have to do the marker part at all. I just wanted it filled in. I thought it looked a little bit more printed that way. Almost like printed designer series paper. The All Dressed Up dies, and that looks a little fuzzy, so let me put it down a little further. All Dressed Up dies, and it's this piece here. Now it comes with a separate like long rectangle that's meant to be straps, 2 straps for like a purse or a bag. I'm not going to use that piece. I'm literally just using this, and we need 2 of these to make a treat box. So the first one is going to be this one that we just did. And you can sort of position it, but all of the important parts are sort of up here at the top. Now you do still want to have your tabs, but it's okay if some of this tab is missing. I'll show you what I mean. So we're just going to sort of, get our picture here, what we want it to say. I'm going to take it over to the edge here. Here we go. But there's the first piece. So for our second piece, I'm going to take a full card. And we're going to lay this down again. But this time, we don't have to be as careful. Okay, so we're going to put as much of the die on the brown part as we can. I'm going to go right up to the edge there. And you'll see that this flap is going to come over to the basic white, the back side of the card. And that's totally fine. Doesn't matter that that's scored. It's going to basically become a tab with this one. So just getting that to the edge. I'm going to pull this back a little because sometimes when you're right up on the edge, it makes it a little bit harder to feed it through. And then we're going to cut our second piece. Okay. I'm going to get my die cutting stuff out of the way. We'll pop this piece out. This is what's left. You can save that for other layers. Okay. All right, and so we have our full tab on this one, which it's okay if it's a little two-tone because this is the bottom of the bag. You won't actually see it. All right, so I'm going to warm up these score lines here, and then we're going to put our bag together. I'm going to use tear and tape, or you could use your Seal Plus. Use a stronger adhesive for your bag. Although everything that I put in the bag, like if you're going to do like a snack, like pretzels or popcorn or something like that, those are all very lightweight. So in that case, you know, if it's not going to be something heavier in the bag, the only thing that had a little bit of weight to it were the crayons. But I'm pretty sure that would still hold with this adhesive. Okay, so we're going to take this little tab end here, this little 1/4-inch piece, and that's where the glue is going to go on the top. So we just put our tear and tape right there. And then we're going to line up the edges. So the score line edge and then this tip with the same spots on the bag. And then just seal that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now I ended up really liking the two-tone look, but if you don't, you could just do this all the way across. Just do 2 panels or 1 large piece of the basic white and just stamp all over it and make full background. Enough that you could cut 2 of these out of it. You can get 2 out of an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet on this. Definitely the 12 by 12. Okay, so this is the next place we're going to put the tear and tape. Okay, so this bag has 2 looks basically. So it can either be like on the, like where these are on the inside, these little score lines, and you just have something small in here. You could do a gift card in there with a little treat or something like that. Or you can make it look a little bit more like what I like to call the French fry box. Kind of looks like, you know, the fast food French fry containers, where you make it a little bit wider and then fit your treat in there. So in this case, we'll say the popcorn. Checking the popcorn for Grandpa. That's his favorite snack, or whoever you're making your treat bag for. Isn't that cute? I mean, I'm just using a little baggie, but you can like buy the super cute ones, like the little ones at the store, or like a popcorn ball would be cute too. But we're still going to decorate the other side of this. So this is the one side, and then the other is the actual card. So I'm going to, and of course I don't see my scissors. Hang on. Here they are. Paper snips to the rescue. All right. So with this, I'm going to trim out the yellow part. So I'm just going to fussy cut it. Now, if you don't want to get into all of that, like if you don't want to fit it like perfectly to the box like I did, you could just do like this. And when you tuck in the treat, you're not going to see that it covers part of the bag. Like if we're looking at it empty, we can actually see the back of that. But it's just a details thing. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Like if you just want to pop the die cut on there, you can. But I'm going to trim mine out. All right, and then once you trim that off, I thought it was like the perfect shape and frame for this particular treat box. And I popped mine up on dimensionals. You get a pack of dimensionals in your kit. Remind me about the button in just a minute here. That one is threaded, the other ones are not. I'll show you the difference there. I'm gonna put a couple on here, probably about 5. Just frame it up. I put mine lower to the edge so that my bat wouldn't pop over the opening. Okay. And here it is. Here's our treat box. Okay, so super cute. I mean, I just love the way that they looked. Now here, let me just show you the few different things that I did with the other ones. We're not going to make these two from scratch, but I did want to show a couple of things that ended up happening when I was designing my treat boxes. So the first one is that on this one, I used these 2 die cut pieces from the kit, okay? But what was bothering me was when I was lining it up. So like when I was trying to layer it, even though I have the bat in the middle, I felt like it just blended right into each other. So when I was like putting it here, I was like, it just doesn't look right to me. Like I wanted that extra pop of color that they had in the kit. And they don't have Bumblebee in the Stampin' Blends. So I ended up using the Mango Melody Dark. But what was happening was I was running out of ink in this marker because I was using it a ton around the holidays. So I ended up finishing it with the lighter marker. But I just went over, you know, all the areas that were kind of this grayish look here, this like smoky slatish look. I just colored that in with the Stampin' Blend to make it a different color. And that I thought like just added a little dimension. So if you want to add a little bit of different color to your die cuts and it makes it stand out. The other thing you'll notice is that I made the baseball smaller. So I know, we don't have the circle punches in the current catalog, and I am sorry about that. But if you already own this punch, this is the 1.5 inch circle punch. I really try not to use retired products in videos, but for this one, I really needed it. If you have a die that's 1.5 inches or around the same size, the one thing I noticed when I was working with this kit was that it was so big. It was just like, it was, to me, it was like taking up the whole design. So I ended up just putting it center in the punch so that I still had those lines on the baseball and then punched. So I just made it a little bit smaller on that one, but on the other one, I used the full size baseball. And this is the full size. So if you don't want to do anything with it, you don't want to use a punch or anything like that. It looks super cute as like the main piece, like the main decoration piece. And I stamped All-Star Dad in Night of Navy and just like right onto the baseball. So just wanted to mention that. And I didn't do the back of this one. So with this last one, the one that I was trying to basically turn into a jersey, just like have that little jersey look to it. The buttons are the Night of Navy cardstock. This is also the all dressed up dies. So from the same dies as this piece, They have buttons in two sizes. They have two small buttons and two larger buttons. Let me just show you on the project the difference in the button size. So the big versus the small. I thought that for the size of the bag, I like the small better, but totally up to you, like which one you would prefer to use. I went with the small ones. So I just cut, I think I ended up cutting 5 of them and I used 4. And we have twine. There's like that white baker's twine in the kit. So I was like, oh, what if I threaded the buttons for the jersey? It's very detailed. Like it takes a long time to do that. And you miss out on those little buttonholes, you know? So I just wanted to show that too, because it's a super cute detail, but like I felt like with the twine in there, like stitched, it just kind of took away from the cuteness of the die. So I decided to do it without any stitching. And then if you look at like the side of the bag here, so when you're cutting it, it has this line in the middle, and then it's like the stitching, like the vein around the ends, and then this little triangle. So if you turn that upside down, so if you cut this panel and just cut out the Y, which is what I did, you end up with the, you know, the seam for the shirt. And then I just took the Night of Navy, like the journaling side, the 0.5 millimeter side, this tip here, and just colored in on that line. So like the score line, basically, just followed the line down so that it kind of stood out a little bit, because it was very hard to see that it was actually like 2 separate pieces. And the stripes are going in a slightly different direction, which I thought was cute because of the way I had to cut the second piece. So just wanted to show you guys that I made the other side Pacific Point cardstock for this one. And like I said, just depending on if you want the whole thing to be consistent all the way around, you would just need the 2 card bases to make your treat bag with. So this one here, Expressions in Color, which is the next kit, you have to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin by June 10th. Okay, so that will be the last day to subscribe, and you can kind of get a little hint here at what that's going to look like, what that kit's going to look like. It's going to be really cool. The other thing is that we are in the last week of the Join promotion. The Join promotion through this month, the month of May, it's ending on May 31st. You get $155 worth of product for $99. You pick it. So $155, but you get it for $99, and there's free shipping on your starter kit. Absolutely worth it if you have a shopping list, if there's anything that you want to get before this promotion ends. This is the Join promotion. So you can also go to, I missed that. You can go here where they're advertising it right at the top of the page at stampinup.com, and you can click sign up today, and it will take you through the steps to join for that deal. And the reason that I want to show that step is just because it can be intimidating if you don't know what to do, or if you don't know what's on the other side of the starter kit. So if you have any questions at all, don't be afraid to ask me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. It will ask you to select a demonstrator when you're joining, and you can pick your demonstrator. Or if you click the link that I showed in the live just a minute ago in comments, it's going to take you directly with me as the demonstrator. I really hope that you enjoyed this live stream. If you are joining me for the replay, I would still love to hear from you. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Have a great night, and I will see you all soon.